Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Committee of Adjustment hearings for Suburban Panel 2. We're a City of Ottawa quasi-judicial tribunal that holds public hearings to consider Planning Act applications, including minor variances to the zoning requirements and consent to sever land. Our hearings are now here in person at Ben Franklin Place, 101 Center Point Drive. We also enable remote participation by video conferencing for registered speakers. We are live streaming on YouTube, and the video will be archived and available for future viewing by the public. My name is Jay Baltz. I'm acting chair for today's hearings. You can address me by my name or as chair. With me are my fellow panel members, George Barrett, Heather McLean, and Julianne Wright. The procedure for the hearings will be as followed. Listed on the agenda and appearing on the screen from time to time are the applications we will hear today. For the sake of efficiency, I may deal with agenda items in a different order. Panel members have reviewed the planning reports and any written submissions in support of or in opposition to each of the applications. Today, we'll hear any oral submissions relating to the applications. As part of the statutory public notification requirements, each applicant was required to post a sign on the property in question before the hearing. They also had to confirm in writing that they did so, or they would have needed to swear or affirm an oath today that they fulfilled the sign posting requirements. Otherwise, we would have to adjourn or postpone the hearing for that application. The panel may ask for a brief presentation of an application, followed by questions for the applicant and city planning staff. We will then hear from members of the public who have registered to speak, and we may also have questions for them. Finally, the applicant, who has the burden of proof, will have an opportunity to make final comments and reply. Please address your comments to me as the chair, starting with your name and spelling it if necessary, and the municipal address for the record. All presentations are limited to 5 minutes. Any exceptions would be at my discretion. At the end of the hearing, the panel may either make an oral decision or we may reserve our decision, which means it won't be delivered today. In either case, within 10 days, the Committee of Adjustment will send the official written decision and the reasons for it to all the parties, participants, and anyone who has requested a copy. Are there any questions about the procedure we'll be following today? All right, seeing none, we have several applications to hear today. We have to deal with some procedural and preliminary matters first. So at the very beginning, are there any declarations of interest today? That's right. No, there are no declarations of interest. We have 2 sets of minutes to confirm, which were pre-circulated. Those are from September 3rd and September 17th. Can we accept the minutes? All in favor? Hands up. Okay, so the 2 sets of minutes have been confirmed. The committee has received several requests to adjourn applications, which are on the agenda for today. And so we will. So we're going to do that now. So item number 1, which is 2180 Mare Blue Road. Mr. Casagrande or Kenneth Bluan or May Pham, I think, are here remotely. Yes.
Hello, apologies. My microphone seems to have cut out. There we go.
Okay, we can hear you and see you. Thank you.
Okay.
So I understand you are requesting to adjourn this to the next hearing?
Yes, please, Speaker.
So that would be November 5th. That's okay?
Yeah. Correct. Yes.
And Planning Department would be okay with the adjournment as well?
Thank you, Chair. Planning staff will be okay with the adjournment.
Is there anyone either online or here today who wishes to comment on it being adjourned? We have nobody online. Right, so to the committee, are we okay to all in favor of adjourning this to November 5? Yeah. Okay, so adjourn to November 5.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. So we will now move on to it's item number 3. This is 290 Montfort Street. Paul Robinson is agent for the application, and I believe is here remotely. Yes,
Mr. Robinson is online, Mr. Chair.
he's online. Okay. Mr. Robinson, so are you the Planning, Development, and Business and Building Services has requested an adjournment, and I think you have agreed with this?
That is correct. We're in agreement with that. We have had some meetings last week with planning staff, and we're in agreement with adjourning the application. The meetings have been good. My client is going to be reaching out to an adjacent property owner to discuss rear yard access issues. And we're also hoping to discuss the application in more detail over the next few weeks with committee planners. It's our understanding there'll be no new variances and there will be no increased scope of variances when this application is before the committee. Thank you.
So, Mr. Robinson, we would be adjourning sine die for this?
Yep.
Is that? Okay.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And I'll ask from planning, are we in agreement?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, we are okay with the adjournment.
Is there anyone either online or here who wishes to comment on adjourning 290 Montfort Street? Anyone online? No, I don't think so. So everyone in favor on the panel of adjourning to item number 3 to sine die, please raise your hand. Yes, okay, so that one is adjourned.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Robinson.
Thank you.
We'll now move to item number 4, 2725 Rowett Street. And that is Jennifer Murray, I believe. Remotely.
Good afternoon.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
There you are.
Always takes a few minutes.
Yeah, welcome, Ms. Murray. So I understand you are in agreement with adjourning this?
Yes. Yes, staff requested, or I don't, maybe it was we requested an adjournment to review some technical information.
Okay, and would November 19th be okay?
Our preference was the next meeting, which I thought it was 2 weeks, but I guess I just understood it was November 5th.
Can we do, we had decided November 19th, and I am blanking on the reason. Can we fit it in on the 5th, or do we need time?
Mr. Chair, it would depend on if there's changes to the application and documents to be filed with committee staff.
So, Ms. Murray, there's no changes you're saying and nothing new to be filed?
There's no changes to the variances. Staff has requested a auto turn simulation of parking access to the garage, which we've agreed to provide. So I believe that 2 to 3 weeks is more than enough time to, like, we'll be providing that information within a week. So November 5th would work for us.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so we also had a number of speakers who are registered to speak today. So let me find out also, because some of them had asked were requesting adjournment.
That's right. Yeah.
So we'll come back to the exact date at the end there. So is there anyone either online? Actually, I should ask planning first. So November 5th versus November 19th, do you have any preference one way or the other?
Hi, no preference at all. I mean,
we've already been in discussion on this, so I know what I'm expecting from the agent. So really, as soon as that's submitted, staff should be able to review it.
And you
provide-
expect it can be submitted in time for the next hearing?
Of course.
Okay. In that case, I'll go on to registered speakers or anyone who is here who wants to speak on this. So should I go through the list or just see who wants to talk? Who do we have online?
Mr. Chair, we do have 2 residents online to speak, and I believe there's some in.
And some in person. So let's do in person first. Who is here who wishes to talk? Okay, please come up to the desk and turn on the microphone and then your name and address. Microphone needs, yeah. Perfect.
Hi, thank you, Chair. My name is Elaine Giles. That's Giles. First name Elaine. And yes, we would like to request adjournment. We're speaking on behalf of the immediate neighbors. We have not been consulted on this development at all. So the first we were aware was when the sign went up and when we received the notification. So about 2 weeks ago. So we would actually like to request a longer adjournment to give us time to prepare and learn more about this. We would love to have some discussion with the owners about the plan, if that's possible. And we would like to request an adjournment for 2 months, if that's possible.
I think what we're discussing here today is between November 5th and November 19th, not.
Are those the only options, though? Could we request a longer adjournment?
You're free to, yes, you may certainly request, and we would discuss that, but in practice, if they are able to submit their material and discuss with you, then really it's going to be heard in November probably, but we can talk about that. Is there anyone else who is here who wants to, any questions from Ms. Giles? No? Okay. So thank you. Anyone else who is here to speak on this? Anyone online who is wanting to talk?
It does not appear so, Mr. Chair.
Sorry?
No one has their hand raised online, so it does
Okay.
not appear.
So I'll ask again, is anybody online who wishes to speak to this? Okay. Right, so I'll turn then to the committee. So it's the question of whether we're adjourning seems to be settled, but the date that we adjourn to is the question. You want to turn on your, yeah.
So I'm wondering, Mr. Chair, if the agent has any plans to meet with the community association and the residents in the next few weeks, or?
Yeah, I did discuss with the property owner this morning and suggested that a video call with the community association would be a good idea. I don't have sort of instructions or direction from my client at this point to do that, but I have suggested that. I think there is some just having read the comments, I think there may be some misunderstanding about what some of the variances are. For example, related to the height, it's only for the coach house. I don't know if the city planner or the committee of adjustment has had any dialogue with the community association about any of the technical aspects of the file, but yeah, so I would be certainly, they are welcome to, we can follow up offline to confirm whether there is interest in having a video call.
Thank you.
So was there any pre-consultation with the community before filing this application?
I personally did not speak to the community association. I don't believe that the property owner spoke to the Britannia Community Association. No.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know if he's spoken to the adjacent neighbors. I don't know.
So, I mean, it's our decision now. Perhaps given that there has been no pre-consultation and that the community is requesting a much longer adjournment, that maybe November 19th would be appropriate. Yep. Okay, so Ms. Murray, that's what we are about to vote on. Do you have any comments there? And do you think
fine with
that
that.
would give enough?
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay, and
I
that
would be in
would
agreement
enough-
with that.
And that would be enough time to consult with the community, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so all in favor of adjourning to November 19th? No? Okay, thank you, Ms. Barry.
Thank you. Sorry, I just want to ask about the sign. I needed to do an oral. Can't remember the confirmation of the sign posting. Does that happen when it comes back, November 19th, or do we do that today based on having been met already?
We're gonna do that when it comes back, correct?
That's correct,
Yes,
Mr. Chair.
you can also just send in the written affidavit.
Yeah, I will do that. Yeah,
Not
just
have
with
to
the
do that,
weekend.
which would be preferable, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank-
Thank you. And this brings us to item number 6, which is 37 Tower Road. And that would be Dean Hainish or Edward Conway for the applicant. Here remotely.
The agent is remote, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mr.
this is
Conway.
For the applicant. I attended on the previous hearing, September 15, and asked for the adjournment. I believe Ms. King is asking for the adjournment today, which we agree with.
I'm sorry, it's a little hard to hear you. So you do agree with?
Yeah, Ms. King is asking for the adjournment today, which I agree with. We've had
Okay.
some discussions over the last month, and where the homeowner is endeavoring to modify the request, the variances that we had previously modified. We're going to modify them even more, reduce them even more to come in line with the planning department's desires. And so I think sine die would be the most appropriate thing here, so that we can be in a position to properly put a package before the committee at the appropriate time. I don't think a month will do it, because I think it has to go back and forth 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, and would require a recirculation if
Right.
it's changed. Planning, I assume, agrees with us.
I agree with it. I think I just want to make sure that the materials are submitted. So, but happy to work with the applicant as much as needed in the meantime. So.
Thank you. Is there anyone here or online for 37 Tower? No one online?
And the community association is online, but it does not appear that they're wishing to speak to the request.
Okay. I'll give it a second for the community association to indicate if they do want to talk about only the adjournment, and if not, we'll vote to adjourn. Seeing nothing, so all in favor of adjourning item number 6, 37 Tower Road, sine die, please raise your hands. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Conway.
Thank you very much, panel.
We now move to the part of the agenda where we deal with unopposed items. And I believe that item number 5, which is 2420 Don Reid Drive, can be fast tracked. Is there anyone here to speak to 2420 Don Reid Drive? The agent for the applicant would be Justin and Nendu. Yes. Do you want to come up to the applicant's chair there, please? That one's fine too. Just so we can hear you on the record. So this would be under the fast track agenda, and there is no letters of concern. No one's here to speak about it. Planning is in agreement. So do you have any comments to make? If not, we'll just vote on it.
I have no comments.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on this one? No? Okay. So all in favor of approval of the consent to subdivide under section 53 into 2? Yeah. Yes? Okay. Thank you. So
Thank
it's
you.
approved. Which brings us back to item number 2, 1598 and 1592 Prince of Wales Drive. I see Mr. Hume is here.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the panel. We are
Before
here-
you go.
Sure, go ahead.
Proceed, we've noticed that there needs to be an amendment to this, which I think we can do on the floor. On variance B, I believe south should be north and north should be south.
Okay,
The two, they're
Are-
mirror image.
They are.
But the variances were identical,
they are.
but they're not because it's the north side for the south, isn't it? And the south side for the north one. They both abut the driveway.
Right. Oh,
from
well,
different sides,
so
yes. Perhaps we can put up the plan. and
yeah,
look at
so the variances are a cumulative variance, right? So so it's a minimum variance of 3 point. So the current zoning standard is a minimum variance, a minimum side yard setback total of 3.6 with a minimum of 1.2 on one side. And so what we're asking for is a total variance of 1.95 with a minimum of 0.7 on one of the either sides.
Agreed, but
Right.
it's a different side for the two different parcels, isn't it? Because the variances are specifying south and north, the
Right, so the 1.25 abuts the north property line and the south property line. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
The 0.7 abuts the north property line, the south property line of the north property, and the 0.7 abuts the northern property line of the south property.
yeah,
Got it.
So north and south should be switched on one of these, and I believe it's B, but we want to get that right so that we don't have it.
If you think it's B, I will, I understand what you're saying,
Yeah,
so,
so which way, oops, it disappeared again.
okay.
Which way is north on can we bring it back?
North is at the top,
North is at the top of this?
yes,
So 0.7 should be, and 1598 is north or south?
1598 is the southern property,
It's a southern property.
yeah,
So the southern property has 0.7 on the north, so that is right.
right,
Correct. 1592 has 0.7 on the south.
right,
Okay, so that's variance B, 1592.
okay,
So we want to amend this so that variance B says 1.25 meters on the north and 0.7 meters on the south, and then the rest is
Perfect.
unchanged, correct? Does planning agree that we have this right?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I agree.
Okay. So fine. So we probably don't need to have a huge presentation on this.
it's just a very short, if you want me, I can walk you through it and tell you where the mistake was, if there was or the missed was.
Yeah.
So you saw this on May 10th, and you approved consents and minor variances to construct the site plan or to construct the buildings that you saw on the site plans. The consents have been perfected, and the back two buildings are now under construction. But it was during the building code services process that, despite everyone's best efforts, both the city planning and on our side, that we found out that we'd missed a side yard variance. So the site plan has remained the same. It's the exact same one that you saw. We had just missed the requirement for a variance, which necessitated a resubmission to the committee to cover that variance. the planning rationale and the four tests that supported the original proposal are as support this proposal. They are minor and they support. We are here to seek support of the committee to facilitate the application that you've already approved.
Any questions from the panel? No. Yep.
Through you, Mr. Chair, just a clarification with regards to one of the residents who submitted a concern about a privacy fence. Is that something that you could speak to today?
Saw that, and I just discussed it with the owner this morning or last night. He'll consider it. He hadn't planned on installing privacy fencing around the property. He's not at his landscaping yet. They're still under construction, but it's something I will take back to him.
Thank you.
Any other questions? We'll now hear from planning.
Thank you, Chair. Planning staff have no concerns about the minor variance, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. Any questions for planning? Oh, your microphone is on. I'm sorry. Is there anyone here in person who wishes to speak to this, or is there anyone online? Don't think we had. No, we didn't have anybody registered, and no one has shown up. Okay. So you have the final word, but I'm not sure much has to be said.
No, it's in the hands of the committee.
Are we reserving this decision? Yeah. We're reserving. No. All right, so we'll reserve the decision, and the usual will have it to you within 10 days. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the panel.
I believe that brings us to the end. Is there any other business to do? I don't think so. And so in that case, we'll adjourn. Agreed? Okay, so we have adjourned the meeting. Thank you, everybody. This was a nice short meeting with all the adjournments, which we will have to make